In Washington, we vote by mail. Did you know we're the nation's largest vote-by-mail jurisdiction, with nearly 1.2 million registered voters in King County? People from all over the world come here to see us in action, and you can too. Come visit us during business hours anytime an election is underway, and see how we process and track every single ballot. On the first floor is our Election Service Center. You can come here if you need to register to vote, update your signature, or return your ballot in person.
In Washington, if they are brand new to Washington, or maybe they've lived here for a number of years but they haven't registered to vote, they can actually come here in person to our office and register to vote. If somebody lost their ballot or never received it and they are a procrastinator and they've waited until closer to the election day, they can actually come down here and cast a ballot, since there's not time to mail them a new one.
Your self-guided tour starts after you check in and pick up a visitor's badge.
Welcome.
Elections headquarters features a 1/5 mile observation loop where you can track a ballot's journey from the time it's returned to elections until it's ready to be counted. Did you know it takes about a day and a half of work for an average ballot to complete this journey? In a presidential election, we process about 1 million ballots. First, ballot envelopes go through the sorting machine twice. The first time, the machine takes a picture of the signature on the envelope so that workers can review it.
It goes through the machine, we capture the signature. The signature then is transferred over to the signature verification group. They review the signature against the registration signature, and then it's accepted if it's a match, and then it's continued on its way to opening.
By law, we must check the signature on each ballot to see if it matches the signature in the voter's registration file. Signatures have to match for the ballot to be processed.
We do verify the signature on every single envelope that comes into our office to determine if it is the signature of the voter. The Washington State Patrol provides the training to elections administrators, and we do that training every year for our staff. About maybe 1%-ish of the voters who return their ballot have failed to sign. We have more education out to voters, more reminders out to voters, and so we are seeing definitely a decrease in the number of voters who are forgetting to sign.
Once the signatures are processed, the machine mills or slits the envelopes and sorts them into batches. Each machine can sort 24,000 envelopes an hour. Now, some ballots don't arrive in envelopes. They come by email or fax, often from a voter who is in the military or overseas. These ballots are called alternate format ballots. They require special handling and must go through the same verification process as standard ballots.
It's an easy and accessible way for voters to access their ballot from anywhere in the world at their own convenience. A lot of military people that move around a lot, overseas voters, you don't always have a mailing address. They just have to have a computer and internet access.
We're going to make sure that, when we actually get your ballot, the moment that we actually print it out through the email system, we're going to keep the voter secrecy, and we are going to process it in a way that's very similar to the vote by mail, and it will eventually get counted and sent to the tabulation equipment.
Here, staff further check signatures that were flagged during initial review.
If there's a problem with the signature, or if the voter failed to sign, which is very common, we have another set of folks who give it a second check, give it a little bit more in-depth review, and that way, if there is a problem with the signature, we can contact the voter. We contact them with a letter, a phone call, and we give them as many opportunities to correct the issue so we can count their ballot.
To ensure your privacy as a voter, ballot opening takes 3 steps.
So the first step is they take the outer envelope and they remove all the materials from inside of it. They set aside all the outer envelopes, and that protects the voter privacy of what they voted on their ballot. The next step is that they'll take the ballots out of the security envelopes, and they'll unfold the ballots, and then they'll manually inspect the ballots to make sure that they can go through the scanning equipment. So they're looking for damaged ballots. If a voter may have used like red ink to fill out their ballot, which the scanners can't see, and those ballots are pulled out of the batch and they're sent over to the ballot review group for further work.
Remember, when you fill out your ballot, you need to use black ink to fill in the circles. If you use the wrong type of pen, make stray marks, or if the ballot is damaged, the scanners won't be able to read it properly. When this happens, teams of 2 make duplicates of these ballots to make sure the votes can be sent on to be counted.
So in Washington State, we are committed to counting every ballot exactly as the voter intended. Not every voter gives us a ballot that if we ran it through our machines would be counted exactly as intended. What ballot review does is we take those ballots that wouldn't scan correctly or wouldn't even go through the machine because they're torn up or whatnot, and we process them in such a way that they will ultimately go through the machine and the vote will be counted correctly. If it's a tricky issue, there's a lot of corrections. Like, well, I want yes, no, I want no, no, I want yes. And we can get some corrections on corrections on corrections. There's a lot of frivolous write-in votes where they obviously don't want Mickey Mouse to win, or maybe they do, but they know it's never going to happen, but they do it anyways. We have to deal with all those write-in votes. We get an awful lot of torn ballots or coffee stains with our every vote counts mantra. Every one of them has to be processed exactly correctly to make sure the votes count.
We scan ballots throughout the election, and the votes are secretly stored and waiting to be added up.
The scanners will actually take an image of the ballot, front and back, and it'll also record where the votes are located, but it actually is not tabulating them yet. It's just sort of recording them and holding them in place.
But we don't tabulate data and publish initial results until we legally can, after 8 p.m. on election night. We keep processing ballots until the election is certified, about 2 to 3 weeks after Election Day. Tabulation takes place on a computer in a room with very high security.
It's very secure. It's on a local network, so it can't be hacked into from the outside.
You have to have fingerprint access on a biometric reader, and there's only certain staff members that are actually authorized to enter that room.
This room is also monitored by security cameras and tamper-evident seals.
Well, you have a great day.
It's a lot of work, but elections play a critical role in our democracy, and we work hard to make sure your vote is private, secure, and completely accounted for. To find out more or to book a group tour, visit us online or call 206-296-1540.